Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Shreya, a full-time artist, art educator, and Skillshare teacher from India. So, in this video, we will be learning how to paint this gorgeous lavender field with watercolors. In this class, we will learn how to paint the sky with the white clouds and how to create the shadow of those clouds. Along with that, we will learn how to paint the bushes with the trees as well as the lavender field in the foreground. So let's get started. Let me first walk you through the materials that I'll be using for the class. Here I'll be using Fabriano 100% cotton, 300 GSM cold pressed watercolor paper. For the watercolors, I'll be using 2B watercolors as well as Camlin Artist Field watercolors. I will link everything in the description box below. I have review of both the colors in my channel, so definitely check it out before you buy. Alright, next you will need 2 jars of water, and now let's get started. So first I will apply the masking tape on all 4 sides of the paper. Once I've applied the masking tape, I will take the spray bottle and just spray it on my paint to reactivate before we start painting. While then that is done, let's move on to the sketching part. So first I'll draw the horizon line, and on top of that line I will draw a tiny little house. I would highly suggest you to pause the video once the sketch is done, or just take the screenshot of the final sketch and then you can sketch it out before you start painting. Once we have painted the house, I have drawn some bushes behind that as well as tree, and now I'm just sketching the lavender field. Next, let's talk about the brushes. I'll be using larger flat brush to just wet the paper, then the round brush size 14, a smaller round brush size 4, and as well as one rigger brush to do all the details. Now let's prepare the color for the sky before we start painting. I have mixed my ultramarine blue with the bright blue and tiny bit of white. And to create the shadow of the clouds, I've created the gray color, that is the mix of black and white. Once that is done, I'm just wetting the whole of the sky area with my flat brush, and then I will start painting the sky. First, we will paint the shadow of the clouds. So here I'm taking my round brush size 4, and I'm painting with the gray color on the sky, leaving larger gaps of white in between. As we are painting wet on wet, I would suggest you to use smaller brush so that you don't end up putting a lot of paint on the paper. Once you have painted the shadow, let's paint the sky. So I will tilt my board by just applying the masking tape below my board, and using the larger brush size 14, I am painting the sky. Again, keep in mind that you will have to leave some white gaps for the clouds. So the gray part was the shadow of the clouds, and wherever you have painted the gray, you have to keep the white gap around that gray part to make it look like white clouds. So be careful while you are painting the blue color. Keep the paint a little thick and don't forget to add a little bit of white so that it will not spread a lot on the paper. Once I'm satisfied with the lighter blue color, I mixed the same colors, that is the bright blue and ultramarine blue, and took the darker value and again painting the same color on the sky. Then just using the damp brush to blend both the blue colors together. And now I'm pretty happy with how my blue sky is looking, but the gray color got a little lighter, so I will switch to my smaller round brush, mix my black and tiny bit of white to make it the gray color, and I'm just applying that gray color wherever we applied before. And lastly, I will add few more darker blue color in the sky to create a little bit of depth. And that's it for this, guys. So while that is drying, let's paint the lavender field. So first, before we paint, as usual, let's prepare our colors. So here I'll be mixing my royal pink color with the blue. So first I will mix it with the ultramarine blue and the bright blue. Then I will again take the royal pink color. I will mix it with the ultramarine blue as well as cobalt blue to make it little darker. So you can create the purple shade by mixing your pink and blue, or by mixing your red and blue together in different proportions, and you will get different shades of purple. Alright, once we have prepared our purple color, I'm taking my larger brush size 14 and I'm applying that color on the paper. Then I will take the green color and I'll apply that in between to create a grass field between that. So repeating the same step slowly and slowly, I am just darkening it. Now I ended up mixing all the colors together and there was no gap between the each line. So I just took my flat brush and I'm lifting off some of the paints in that area. Once that is done, it's time to add a lot of textures in the foreground. So first I will start by just splattering clean water on the paper. Then I will splatter some ultramarine blue color as well as some pink color onto the bottom part. Splattering is simple, just load your brush with paint and then either use another brush or just your hand to tap off the brush, and you will see that the drops of color will fall on the paper. Make sure that you cover the sky area so that you don't end up having the blues and the pink colors on the sky. Alright, so once that is done, I took my bright green color and I'm painting that color in between the lavender fields as well as the mountains which are behind the house. So the process is quite simple. Once you have layered the lighter color, you have to put a little bit of darker color of the same on top of it. Like we applied the lighter green color and then I applied a little bit of sap green on top of it. Alright, so while I was talking about that, we also painted the roof with the burnt sienna, and then I'm painting the bushes around the house. So I will use different shades of green. I start with the lighter green color, and once I've painted that, I will use the darker green color to put a little bit of depth in our bushes. So if you are enjoying this video and if you are learning, then make sure that you like, comment and share, as well as subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on the amazing painting video which I post every week. And do let me know if you want to see something else on this channel. I would love to create that for you. Next, I felt like I had a lot of green color and there was no differentiation between the bushes and the trees behind. So I just took the yellow color and applied that on the top and then blended it with my hand. Now I'm just adding a little bit of darker value on the roof as well as on the doors and the windows. Lastly, let's add some flying birds on the sky. You can either use a pen to do it if you are not comfortable using your brush, or else you can directly try it with the smallest brush, size 0 or maybe size 1. Lastly, let's add few more splatters in the foreground. So here I'll be using all the colors which are there on my palette. So I will use the purple, I'll also use a little bit of pink as well as green. And then I will just use my hair dryer to dry off the painting. Now I'm just checking that if it has completely dried, and it is. So let's remove the masking tape. Do it very slowly and gently so that you don't end up tearing the paper. And let's see how our final painting has turned out. If you are recreating this and if you are posting it on your social media, then please do tag me. My Instagram handle is @artist I would love to see your work and share it with my community. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed painting along with me, and I'll see you guys really soon in the next video. Alright, bye.